TQCQ, Kilo 4 Sierra Delta Victor, Kilo 4 Sheriff's Deputy, Vance County, QRZ. Welcome to QSO. What a cop. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube. This is Tony, Kilo 4 Sierra Delta Victor, K4STV, and today we're going to take on a new project. We're going to build the EMTECH ZM-2 ATU, antenna tuning unit. Now, one of the first things you're going to need to do when you open up your kit is to apply this decal to this plate. The easiest way to do this is mix you up a little bit of window tint solution, which is just dish soap and water. Spray this part, peel the sticker, spray the back of it, get it up next to a good light source, apply it, that way you can match up the holes, sandwich it in between some paper, take a squeegee, you could use the edge of a popsicle stick, you could use a dowel, get all the water out so that the adhesive adheres. Then you could take a heat gun or a blow dryer to dry it, and once it's dry, you can apply some clear spray paint. I chose to do polyacrylic, water-based, to it to protect it, and it's as simple as that. The next thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to wrap some toroids. Or you can elect to get the pre-wound toroids. That's right, like Ina Garten says it, if you don't have fresh, the store-bought will do. We'll be back in a minute. Tony, K4STV, we're back. The next thing you want to do is line everything up where it needs to go. Here you have a thin single position switch. It's going to go there. Negative, positive, your SO239s. If you want, you could take this part, file off a little bit here. That way you can get a really good solder connection the first time for your ground. This outer switch is going to be a 2-position switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pins on it. The inner switch also has 6 pins, but it has a center position. Alright, so that one's going to go corresponding in that spot. Now you're going to have to pull these trimmer tabs. Let's get some focus here. These tabs are going to kind of be up like that. You're just going to have to pull them down. Alright, so you want them feet down, head up. And you want to mount them just like that into the board. Now I want you to take notice that there are some washers here. These washers need to go the other side of the face. So remove the screw, remove the screw, remove the screw, put it down, and then from the other side, washer and screw. Make sure you put the washers back in place. If not, you run the risk of the screw going too far into the capacitor and ruining it. So let's get this assembled and then we'll come right back. Alright, welcome back. Okay, so now we get into the fun part where we have to cut and solder. Pick this up. I call this bits and bobs right here. Bits and bobs. Pieces from other projects you can use for your current project. Bits and bobs. Save this stuff. Alright, so pretty straightforward. This is what we have. This is what it should look like. Okay, and if you flip it over, boom, there you go. Knobs turn, everything's nice and smooth. Yep. switches work. Okay, let's get everything soldered in. Alright, so remember, we're going to have to start this way. This is going to be capacitor 2, capacitor 1. Alright, so I normally bring my soldering iron to about 760 degrees. I'm not sure if it's actually 760 degrees. I paid roughly 30 bucks from it, got it off Amazon. When it burns me, it feels just exactly like the temperature it says that it's set on. So what I'm going to do is get the strippers out here, and let's see, where do we want to start? We want to start with, we have to jump from here to here. So that's going to be a relatively short wire. So a little bit more. Don't need too much more. That might have been too much. But we're just going to jump from there to there. So break out the flush cutters. And trim it up a little bit. Some of this is going to be off camera. It's not going to be all camera. You guys and gals should know how to solder. So this is not a soldering tutorial. And if I took a little bit too much off, that's okay. I am looking for, well, I was looking for a set of tweezers. Tweeze this in because it's going to get hot holding it. So we're going to set that there. You know, can't find a set. Alright, that's fine. Okay. This is just going to be a small jumper anyway. So we're going to go and we don't necessarily need a set of helping hands to do that. Ten up. That's good enough. Like I said, we're just making a jumper from one point to the other. that looks good. So that's our jumper. Okay. Turn down some of the heat. We're way too hot here. Come down to, I don't know, maybe 650-ish. 675. Okay. Alright. So we've added that jumper. Okay, so we're gonna have to go from switch 1, which is this one. We're gonna go from the center. Oop. We're gonna go from switch 3. We're gonna go from the third prong. 1, 2, 3. Well, second prong. 1, 2, 3. So second prong, and we're gonna bring it that wire to here. This is gonna be common. So we're going to strip a little bit. Just a little bit. There's way too much. Trim some of that off. Can't save that as bits and bobs. We're going from the second. So we have our jumper. So insert that there. I do not have the best soldering skills in the world, but I do manage to make good solder joints and for them not to be cold. So, alright. One, not cold. 2, not overheated. So, I'm dropping stuff. There. Go where it's supposed to go, and it is. There, and the hose cutter's out of the way. There, all right. Okay. All right. So our next step is this component. So we're just going to spread the legs. I like to use sometimes something so that I get a sharper bend. It's hard to get a sharp bend by hand, but that's about all the bend we need. to go ahead and screw this one down. And we'll grab the flush cutters and just cut a little bit away. So let's look at what else we have to do. This is really simple, guys. Just follow the instructions. So we've got coming. All right. We've got that there. We have our little jumper wire here. That's perfect. That's good. Alright. So bang. Go over. Our capacitor. Now we gotta go from here to here. We're gonna use a little bit beefier wire. I mean, I'm sure this is more than enough, but you know what? This is what they gave us. Let's work with what they gave us. Don't want to be accused of
AA4RV repeater
being too far outside the box. Let's go ahead and turn our radio down. And we're going to start here. And then we'll just tack that on there. Probably be a whole lot easier to do if I was using like helping hands or something, but kind of don't really need it. I think just do more of just getting them away.
FCARC Wednesday.
Oh, Lord. It's just blaring. Alright, so take our flush cutters and we'll snip there. And let's see. I'm gonna peel back. That much. have to overheat it because we don't want to melt our dielectric. What I'm doing is I'm just shaping wire. Make sure we have enough, but make sure that our enough stays out of our way. So there we go. All right. So where else? There. All right. So now make our way over to here. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have a jumper. And take our flush cutter, cut there. I'm sorry if I'm not getting all this on camera, but you guys should get the idea. And we're just going to make a little jumper in here. I'm doing a little bit extra because somebody left a comment last video that I guess it wasn't enough. I'm kind of not here to teach you how to solder. If you can't solder, then I'm sure someone out there has a YouTube video that can teach you how to do it. But I am not the solder teacher. That is for sure. That one fell out. But it's okay. What we'll do is we'll work it backwards. Say we'll work it backwards is I've already got solder on at this point there, so if I just apply just a little bit of pressure here, actually that's a solder connection, but I want it a little bit better than that. Okay, there we go. A little bit better than that. This is, don't want to touch it awfully hot. Alright. I'll come back in a second for the other one. And just a dab. Like I said, I'm not the world's best solder guy, but I do have the basic idea. Alright, so there we go. There's our jumper there. Alright. So let's see. there. It looks like. So we're gonna go from here to there. So we're just gonna jump it again. Go to the center, okay. So what? Actually, make a loop there. Okay. All right. There. But I want to go back. Just broke that solder joint. Wasn't a good solder joint. Okay. There we go. And okay, there we go. So those two are together. All right. Looks like we got a family affair going here. Because we're gonna go. All right. There. This is almost the consistency of bone wire. In case you're curious. That thing there. I know I'm not really explaining much, but not much to explain. It's in the instructions. don't be intimidated by this stuff. And when I mean don't be intimidated by it. Alright, a little bit more. This is solid core wire, so this is probably the wrong set of strippers to use, because there we go. That's good. Thin this up just a little bit. Okay. And stick it here. Okay. Nope. Infusion. Okay, good. Little trick, folks, if you can't get all your insulation off, you can always burn it off with your soldering iron, but I'm trying not to do that. So all your soldering is pretty much straightforward. So at this point, we're going to sit back and we're going to take a break, but we'll let you see what we got. This is where we're at. Not extremely hard, Be back with you in a few. Alright, Tony here. We're back. We've done a little bit more soldering. So, there you go. So you can see where we're at. Okay. There's going to come a point where you're going to have to make some of these. They're simple. Put two of them side by side and then twist, then solder. Here, I'll do one on camera for you real quick. Put them side by side, twist. About 4 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. That might have been 5. It don't matter. And same thing. Solder those together. Here, we'll do it one more time. Okay. Just twist. Nothing special. Okay. So you have that. Now, the other ends, just twist. Then solder. Okay. This is for our SWR bridge. There's going to be LED. Alright. That you're going to have to solder in with the bridge. There's also going to be a diode and a resistor. So just follow the instructions. Just follow the instructions. And let me go ahead and knock that out, and then we'll be right back. Okay, remember those resistors? I told you to twist together. Twist them, then solder them. And they're only going to go a couple places because there's only 3 once you solder, but this is your SWR bridge. So just follow the instructions. I know step by step. I don't do step by step tutorials. I want you to learn something. If you're watching this video, because you want to know how to build this, but look at the instructions, because guess what? You need confidence in what you're doing. And heck, if it's wrong, guess what? Solder iron, heat, pull it apart, unsolder it, start again. It's part of learning. Making mistakes. Just when you make your mistakes, learn from them. I think it was Albert Einstein that said, if you continue to do what you do, you will continue to get what you get. Let that sink in for a minute. This is Tony, Kilo 4 Sierra Delta Victor, and we'll be right back. It's Tony, K4SDV, and here we have our finished product. I left the wires a little long, man, just in case I gotta go back and correct something. But stick around, and we'll get the whole thing together, get it to tune, see if it works. It's K4SDV. Okay, everything is complete. It's assembled. So this switch here, if you're using a balanced line, you want to have it switch to the right, which is link, because you're linking 2 together because you're using a balanced line. If you're using an end-fed or a single wire antenna, you want it switched to ground, that way everything's grounded. Or if you're using coax. Right now I'm using a doublet, which is wired to coax. You have 2 modes. The switch here is tune and operate, and this will move your capacitor around. So that's 250, basically bypass, and 500 picofarad. So I'm in AM mode at 5 watts. Remember, this is only rated to 15 watts. It is a QRP tuner. I'm going to step on my foot pedal. Well, first we want to peak for optimum noise. Move everything to 0. Peak for noise. Right about there is where we see our peak. So now we'll flip the tune, and when I key up, you should see the red light come on. Alright, so now we're tuning for the lowest SWR. As the SWR gets lower, our light will go out. It'll dim. Oh, there we go. It's dimming, dimming, dimming right there. So if I go and operate and I'm looking at my SWR meter, we're just under 1.5 to 1 SWR. And as you, I'm not sure if you can see it, but that's what it looks like. Bright, dim, dim. Looks like we're getting a little bit better. And it's almost out. We still have a little bit of SWR. And we're just a little over 1 to 1 SWR. So now you know how the EMTECH Tuner is built. Apparently they work really great. And take time, build yours. Remember, when you build a kit, you get out of it what you put into it. So if it performs like crap, you have only you to blame. This is K4SD-V. Till next time, YouTubers. Later.